हेलो एवरीवन, कैसे हैं आप सभी। आशा करती हूँ कि आप सभी अच्छे होंगे। और आज के इस लाइव सेशन में मैं रीड करने वाली एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सी स्टोरी को चलिए तो कवर कर लेते हैं इसको। ओके, तो टाइटल है गोल्डी लॉक्स एंड द थ्री बियर्स। सो दिस इज द स्टोरी विच आई विल रीड राइट नाउ। तो चलिए स्टार्ट करते हैं। वंस अपॉन अ टाइम देयर वर थ्री बियर्स who lived together in a house of their own. In the woods, one of them was a little small wee bear, and one was a middle sized bear, and the other was a great huge bear. They had each a pot for their a little pot for the a little pot for the little small wee bear, and a middle-sized pot for the middle-sized bear, and a great pot for the great huge bear. And each had a chair to sit in, a little chair for the little small wee bear, and a middle-sized chair for the middle-sized bear, and a great chair for the great huge bear. And each had a bed to sleep in, a little bed for the little small wee bear, and a middle-sized bed for the middle-sized bear, and a great bed for the great huge bear. One day, एक दिन, after they had made the porridge for their breakfast and poured it into their pots, they walked out into the woods while the okay was cooling, that they might not burn their mouths. By beginning to वेलकम है जो भी हमारे साथ इस लाइव सेशन में जुड़ रहे हैं, प्लीज़ डू लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब. By beginning too soon to eat, and while they were walking, a little girl named Goldilocks came to the house. She had never seen the little house before, and it was such a strange little house that she forgot all the things her mother had told her about being polite. First, she looked in at the window, and then she peeped in through the keyhole, and seeing nobody in the house, she lifted the latch. The door was not fastened because the bears were good bears who did nobody any harm and never suspected. Suspected, that means Viswas, that anybody would harm them. So Goldilocks opened the door and went in. And well pleased she was when she saw the porridge on the table. If Goldilocks had remembered what her mother had told her, she would have waited till the bears came home. And then perhaps they would have asked her for breakfast, as they were good bears, a little rough, as the manner of bears is, but for all that very good natured and hospitable. But Goldilocks forgot and set about helping herself. So first she tasted the porridge of the great huge bear, and that was too hot, and then she tasted the porridge of the middle-sized bear, and that was too cold, and then she went to the porridge of the little small wee bear and tasted that, and that was neither too hot nor too cold, but just right, and she liked it so well that she ate it all up. Then Goldilocks sat down in the chair of the great huge bear, and that was too hard for her. And then she sat down in the chair of the middle-sized bear, and that was too soft for her. And then she sat down in the chair of the little small wee bear, and that was neither too hard nor too soft, but just right. So she seated herself in it, and there she sat till the bottom of the chair came out, and down she came, plump upon the ground. The Goldilocks went upstairs into the bed chamber in which the three bears slept, and first she lay down upon the bed of the great huge bear, but that was too high at the head for her, and next day she lay down upon the bed of the middle-sized bear, and that was too high at the foot of for her. And then she lay down upon the bed of the little small wee bear, and that was neither too high at the head nor at the foot, but just right. So she covered herself up comfortably and lay three till she fell fast asleep. By this time, she three bears thought their portage would be cool enough, so they came home for breakfast. Now, Goldilocks had left the spoon of the great huge bear standing in his portage. Somebody has been at my portage, said the great huge bear in his great rough, gruff voice. Gruff, that means kadak voice. And when the middle-sized bear looked at his, he saw that the spoon was standing in it too. Somebody has been at my portage, said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. Then the little small wee bear looked at his and sorry, and there was the spoon in the portage pot, but the portage was all gone. Somebody has been at my portage and has eaten it all up, said the little small wee bear in his little small wee voice. Upon this, the three bears sing that someone had entered their house and eaten up the little small wee bear's breakfast. Begin to look about them now. Goldilocks had not put the hard cushion straight when she rose from the chair of the great huge bear. Somebody has been sitting in my chair, said the great huge bear in his great rough gruff voice, and Goldilocks had crushed down the soft cushion of the middle-sized bear. Somebody has been sitting in my chair, said the middle-sized bear in her middle-sized voice. And you know what Goldilocks had done to the third chair. Somebody has been sitting in my chair and has sat the bottom out of the it, said the little small wee bear in his little small wee voice. Then the three bears thought it necessary that they should make further search, so they went upstairs into their bedchamber. Now Goldilocks had pulled the pillow of the great huge bear out of its place. Somebody has been lying in my bed, said the great huge bear in his great rough gruff voice. And Goldilocks had pulled the bolster of the middle-sized bear out of its place. Somebody has been lying in my bed, said the middle-sized bear, and when the little small wee bear came to look at his bed, there was the there was someone in its place, and the pillow in its place upon the bed, and upon the pillow was the shining yellow hair of little Goldilocks. Somebody has been lying in my bed, and here she is, said the little small wee bear in his little small wee voice. Goldilocks had heard in her sleep the great rough gruff voice of the great huge bear, but She was so fast asleep. गहरी नींद, गहरी नींद को बोलते हैं so fast sleep, that it was no more to her than the roaring of wind of the rumbling of thunder, and she had heard the voice of the middle-sized bear. But it was only as if she had heard someone speaking in a dream. But when she heard the little small wee voice of the little small wee bear, it was so sharp and so shrill that it awakened her at once. Up she started, and when she saw the three bears on one side of the bed, she tumbled herself out at the other and ran to the window. Now the window was open because the bears, like good, tidy bears as they were, always opened their bed chamber window when they got up in the morning. Out little Goldilocks jumped and ran away, home to her mother as fast as ever she could. So this is the story. Okay, I'm just going to explain the conclusion. What was the story? A little girl named Goldilocks goes for a walk in the forest and comes upon a house where she enters and finds to her delight three bowls of porridge. Goldilocks finds the three different sized chairs where she tries them out and finds the first one too hard, the next too soft, and then the little one just right, but it breaks when she sits in it. As she wanders in the home, she finds three beds and tries them out. The first bed is too hard, the next too soft, but the third is just right, and she curls up and falls asleep. Meanwhile, the owners come home, who happen to be three bears, Papa, Mama, and little baby bear. Much to their demise, they discover the outcome of what Goldilocks has done to their portages, chairs, and finally their beds. Goldilocks wakes with a fright when she sees and hears the growl of bears. She jumps from the bed and ran away as fast as she can. So this is the story. Hope so you all liked it. And now I'm going to read another story. So this is the story. Okay, so I'm going to read this story also. प्लीज़ चैनल को लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिएगा एंड थैंक यू फॉर लाइक. पनिशमेंट टर्न्स आउट फन. तो देखते हैं कि जो पनिशमेंट होती है वो कैसे टर्न करती है फन में. ओके, सो टॉम नो आंसर. टॉम नो आंसर. Where can he be? Aunt Polly asked herself. He must be somewhere here. She went to the door, looked out into the garden, and she shouted again. Tom, Tom, no answer. The old lady stood there thoughtfully. Suddenly, she heard a sound behind her. She turned round quickly. There was Tom near the cupboard door. There was jam all round his mouth. What have you been doing here? Aunt Polly asked angrily. Angrily, that means gusse se. When Tom did not answer, she went on. You have been stealing the jam again? Don't tell me that you haven't. Haven't told you 100 times to keep away from that cupboard. Where is my stick? Aunt Polly took her stick and raised it high. She was about to strike Tom hard. Look behind you, Aunt shouted. Shouted, that means chillana. Aunt Polly looked behind her. This was Tom's chance. He rushed out of the house. He climbed over the fence. Climbed, that means chadna. Soon he was far away. Aunt Polly was very angry. Angry hona, gussa hona. But she had to laugh. He is a bad boy, she said to herself. But I love him. He is my poor dead sister's boy, and I must look after him. I don't like to hit him, but I have to. If I don't punish him, he will grow up lazy and weak. Yes, I must be strict. Aunt Polly sighed. I will have to punish him stealing the jam, but how? I know tomorrow is Saturday and there is no school on Saturdays. The boys have a holiday, but I will make Tom work. That will punish him. The next day was Saturday. The school was shut. All the boys in the town were free. It was a beautiful day. The sun was shining and the birds were singing. The trees and flowers were looking so fresh and lovely. Tom, of course, wanted to go swimming. All the other boys were going. Tom came sadly out of the house. In one hand, he held a long brush. In the other hand, he carried a bucket which was full of whitewash. His aunt was making him whitewash the fence. Tom looked sadly at the fence. How high it is! How long it is! He thought, indeed, वास्तव में the height of the fence was 9 feet and its length was 30 yards. Tom put his brush into the whitewash. He drew it slowly across the fence. It made a very small white mark. Tom tried again, another very small white mark. Tom sat down and sighed heavily. He looked out all the things that he had in his pockets. He had some marbles, some pieces of string, and 2 or 3 broken toys. No one will whitewash the fence for these, he thought. No, I must think of a better plan. He thought and thought. Soon he had an idea. He picked up his brush again and began working hard. Ben Rogers was coming down the street. Tom pretended not to see him. He worked harder than ever. Ben was eating an apple. He looked very happy. He was pretending that he was a big ship and he was rolling like one. He was giving orders in a loud voice and the ship was obeying them. He came up to Tom. He rubbed his eyes. Why, Tom? He cried in great surprise. You are working? Tom said. Nothing. He went on with his whitewashing. He looked very interesting in his work. Tom, you are working. Ben repeated. Oh, it's you, Ben. I didn't notice you. This is not work, Tom said quietly. And he went on whitewashing. Not work, Ben exclaimed. Oh no, I like it. Whitewashing is fun. You have never whitewashed a fence, have you? Well, no, I haven't. For a time, Ben stood there watching Tom. Tom paid no attention to him. All his attention was given to his work. At last, Ben said, let me whitewash a little. Oh no, Ben, I am going to make this fence. Oh, sorry. Okay, so yeah, all his attention was given to his work. At last, Ben said, let me whitewash a little. Oh no, Ben, I am going to make this fence look fine. I have promised Aunt Polly. Besides, it's interesting. Let me do just a little. begged Ben. No, I am sorry, Ben, but I can't. Aunt said that I must do it myself. If you do it, you will make a mistake. You will spoil everything. It's looking very nice now. I shall not make mistake. I will be careful. You can have my apple if you let me. Slowly and unwillingly, Tom handed the brush to Ben. Ben worked hard. He soon grew hot, but he went on working. Tom sat there watching and eating Ben's apple. When Ben had done enough, other boys came along. At first, they laughed at Tom, as Ben had done, but soon they were whitewashing the fence. Of course, they had to pay Tom before he let them help him. They gave him their best things: 12 marbles, a tin soldier, a key, a dog's collar, the handle of a knife, and 4 pieces of orange. Tom had an easy time. He did not work, but soon the fence had 3 coats of whitewash on it. So this is the story. Hope so you liked it. तो आज के इस लाइव सेशन में इतना ही। और चलिए, तो आज के इस लाइव सेशन में मैं बताती हूँ कुछ अमेजिंग से वर्ड मीनिंग, कुछ ओवर यूज्ड वर्ड्स जिनको हम बार बार यूज़ करते हैं। तो कुछ ओवर यूज्ड वर्ड्स हैं, उनकी जगह पे हम क्या बोल सकते हैं, ठीक है। देयर आर ओनली 1 2 3 4 एंड 5। तो ओवर यूज्ड वर्ड कौन से होते हैं जिनको हम बार बार रिपीट करते हैं, ठीक है। तो उनकी जगह पे हम कुछ और भी बोल सकते हैं, कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग सा, कुछ अमेजिंग सा। तो फर्स्ट वाला कौन सा है? नाइस। नाइस वर्ड हम बहुत बार बोलते हैं, ठीक है, बहुत बार रिपीट करते हैं। तो नाइस की जगह पे हम बोल सकते हैं इसके कुछ बेटर ऑल्टरनेटिव्स या फिर बेटर फ्रेजेस आप बोल सकते हो। तो फर्स्ट वन इज एन्जॉयबल। द फर्स्ट वन इज एन्जॉयबल। नेक्स्ट लवली। नेक्स्ट डिलाइटफुल। डिलाइटफुल। तो अगर नेक्स्ट टाइम आपको किसी को बोलना है नाइस, तो नाइस की जगह पे आप क्या बोल सकते हो? डिलाइटफुल, लवली, एन्जॉयबल, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट देख लेते हैं इम्पोर्टेंट। इम्पोर्टेंट वर्ड भी हम बहुत ही ज़्यादा यूज़ करते हैं, बहुत ही बेसिक सा वर्ड है, ठीक है। तो इसकी जगह पे हम क्या यूज़ कर सकते हैं? हम बोल सकते हैं क्रूशियल। क्रूशियल, वाइटल, एसेंशियल, की, ठीक है। जो इम्पोर्टेंट वर्ड है वो बहुत बेसिक है, उसकी जगह पे हम कोई भी एडवांस लेवल वाला वर्ड यूज़ कर सकते हैं। तो फर्स्ट कौन सा है? क्रूशियल, वाइटल, ठीक है, और एसेंशियल और की। नेक्स्ट देख लेते हैं सिमिलर, ठीक है। ये वर्ड भी आपने कहीं ना कहीं सुना होगा, सिमिलर। बोलते हैं ना कि मिलता जुलता है, ये इससे सिमिलर है बहुत ही। तो सिमिलर की जगह पे आप बोलोगे अलाइक। अलाइक, रिजेंबलिंग, कंपेरेबल, ठीक है। अलाइक, रिजेंबलिंग, कंपेरेबल। नेक्स्ट देख लेते हैं बोरिंग। बोरिंग वर्ड भी बहुत ही यूज़ किया जाता है। तो बोरिंग की जगह पे हम इसको बना देते हैं इंटरेस्टिंग। तो इसका अमेजिंग से वर्ड क्या होंगे? डल, अनइंटरेस्टिंग, अनइंटरेस्टिंग, टीडियस। टीडियस, ये शब्द आपने शायद पहली बार ही सुना होगा, टीडियस, ठीक है। अगर नेक्स्ट टाइम आपको बोरिंग वर्ड यूज़ करना हो तो आप इन वर्डों को यूज़ कीजिएगा, डल, अनइंटरेस्टिंग, टीडियस। नेक्स्ट देख लेते हैं फास्ट। फास्ट, FAST, फास्ट, ये भी वर्ड बहुत यूज होता है। तो इसकी जगह पे हम बोल सकते हैं रैपिड, RAPID, रैपिड, स्पीडी, हैस्टी, निम्बल, ठीक है। चलिए, तो और कुछ वर्ड मीनिंग है जो मैं बता देती हूँ। तो बिना सोचे समझे, एक वर्ड है बिना सोचे समझे, उसको उसकी इंग्लिश क्या होती है बिना सोचे समझे? रैंडम। जिम्मेदारी, ठीक है। फर्स्ट वर्ड कौन सा है? बिना सोचे समझे। तो इसको हम इंग्लिश में इसका मीनिंग क्या होगा? इंग्लिश में इसका मीनिंग होता है रैंडम, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट है जिम्मेदारी, जिम्मेदारी किसको बोलते हैं? रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, ठीक है। हिंदी में होता है जिम्मेदारी, इंग्लिश में बोलते हैं रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। नेक्स्ट देख लेते हैं जानबूझकर। जानबूझकर की इंग्लिश होती है डेलिबरेटली, डेलिबरेटली। नेक्स्ट साजिश, कॉन्स्पिरेसी, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट प्रभाव, अफेक्ट। नेक्स्ट मांग, डिमांड। नेक्स्ट विकास, डेवलपमेंट, ठीक है। नेक्स्ट बिताना, स्पेंड करना, स्पेंड। नेक्स्ट खासकर, स्पेशली। नेक्स्ट एकदम सही, सही यानी कि एक्यूरेट। नेक्स्ट वफादार, फेथफुल। नेक्स्ट हमदर्दी, सिंपथी, ठीक है। एक बार फिर से रिवाइज करवा देती हूँ मैं। फर्स्ट वर्ड था हमारा बिना सोचे समझे, बिना सोचे समझे को हम बोलेंगे रैंडम, ठीक है, रैंडम। नेक्स्ट जिम्मेदारी, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी। नेक्स्ट जानबूझकर, डेलिबरेटली, डेलिबरेटली। नेक्स्ट साजिश, कॉन्स्पिरेसी, कॉन्स्पिरेसी। नेक्स्ट प्रभाव, अफेक्ट। नेक्स्ट मांग, डिमांड। नेक्स्ट विकास, डेवलपमेंट। नेक्स्ट बिताना, स्पेंड। नेक्स्ट खासकर, स्पेशली। नेक्स्ट एकदम सही, एक्यूरेट, एकदम सही, एक्यूरेट। नेक्स्ट वफादार, फेथफुल। नेक्स्ट हमदर्दी, सिंपैथी। आशा करती हूँ कि आज का ये लाइव सेशन आपको पसंद आया होगा। अगर पसंद आता है तो प्लीज़ डू लाइक, शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब। थैंक यू फॉर वॉचिंग। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट लाइव सेशन में। सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।